Hey, what's going on? It's the King Kevin Show. We right on time as usual. You already know what it is, what it does. Yeah, today is a special day for many reasons. One, because you're alive, you're breathing, you're well. I hope everybody enjoyed their wonderful Wednesday. And actually, today is, if I'm not mistaken, the date is the 9th, July the 9th, 2014. And welcome to the King Kevin Show. Last week we spoke about prisoners of love, people who have loved ones locked up doing time. And then we also had some callers, had some nice, very interesting comments, all that good stuff. So God bless all of y'all for tuning in again, because I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate you sharing your special time with the king. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna wave this Unc symbol because it represents so much to me. But God is good. I'm glad to have made it here safely. The weather was crazy. Anybody had a tough time getting home today? It took me an hour and a half to get home. For a 30-minute drive, it took me an hour and a half to get home. So that was pretty interesting. But nonetheless, I pray everybody who is out there is okay and all is well. Now, today's show, speak your mind. Whatever issues you've been dealing with, whatever blessings, whether testimonies you may have, whatever the case may be, call in the show 305 600 5916, 305 600 5916. And, I know the phone is on 'cause I just paid the bill, so there won't be no hang ups or nothing like that. Again, so the lines are open. I want you guys to speak your mind because I'm going to speak mine. And whatever you want me to talk about, man, go ahead and shoot me a message on Twitter, Instagram. It's courage, number two, believe, which is the same thing. That's courage, number two, believe. Facebook, the same thing, or the King Kevin Show. So, with that being said, let me give you guys an update what's going on. Well, I know many of you watching the World Cup, you seen Brazil get demolished, straight mopped by Germany. Lord have mercy, 7-1. What's going on? It must be recession for real in this world. Well, they come by a point if they wanted to. The legendary Brazil. So that just proved that no one's invincible. And anyone and everyone can be defeated if it comes to that. So it is what it is. So God bless those brothers. I hope the Eagles aren't too hurt. Shout out to my Brazilian fans and big ups to Brazil, to Germany, doing their thing. I believe Argentina's playing today. I'm not sure who won. So that's just I had to say something about the little soccer fans. And also, go ahead. Argentina won. Hey, my boy Lloyd just told me Argentina won. Oh man, you know the score? You know the score?
Penalty kicks, 3, 4-2.
4-2. Oh man, they had a lot of action. You heard me 4-2. Argentina did they thing today. So blessing to them. And what about, since we're talking about sports? What's up with these two dudes? They got caught up for the UN football team. We're gonna get into that in a little bit, because that just seemed to be a little troubling of what I heard, what happened. So I hope that's not really true. But it is what it is. Out here in this world, you got to be careful, man. You got to cherish your life. Why not? I cherish mine. The documentary update. As I mentioned, shout out to DE Tires, one of my sponsors, gold sponsors. They put down $1,000 to support the film. So all we need is a few more people doing the same thing. Also, want to let you guys know that next week the topic of the show is going to be African-centered education. Is that the solution? African-centered education, because something needs to be done on the way our youth are behaving themselves and constantly getting incarcerated, by the thousands. So that's why we're going to talk about the show. People think that African-centered education is mainly about talking about Africa, talking about history, you know, about enslavement and all that. No, that's not what it's about. Yeah, you're gonna talk about those things, but you know, the way the Africans taught the culture teach the kids is a little different than the way we are taught now in America. So that's why I decided to go ahead and you know, go ahead and do this show next week. And shout out to brother AK, who's doing a show right now. Matter of fact, a school right now for Lauderdale. So I definitely want to make sure that I give a shout out to AK and the whole team for actually building a school, because Dr. Omar is building a school as well. You know, Dr. Omar been doing his thing for a long time. Those of you who don't know the brother, Dr. Kaba, you know, you have Tariq Nasheed as well. I mean, you have quite a few individuals who are actually doing a thing in the conscious community, but to actually have a school ready and up and running, you know, that's very impressive. That's powerful. So, but we're gonna get details in that some other time, you know, because that's not really the topic of the show today. Now, back to the nitty gritty. So, you got one thing I want to talk about. A couple of topics. One about these football players and the issues they have coming up from the University of Miami. UM football players, the linebackers. I know one of them was a linebacker. We also have the whole weed situation going on. I don't know why I had the other computer playing so loud. I hear myself word for word, so I guess you guys are hearing the echo. But also the weed situation. You know, the states that's legalizing weed. And to give you guys another update, I'm thinking about doing the show every week. You know, at least, well, not every week, but every morning of the week. Early morning show. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and go that route. I hope you guys like the little scenery behind me, the trees. That's vibrations right there. So you know, I'm putting the word out there to let you guys know what is going on in my world, and I want to know what's going on in your world. And so I'm going to give a quick shout out to my people on Google Plus, showing me love, and Instagram and Twitter. And you guys just bear with me for 1 second. I know I got a couple of people going to check in, so we can go ahead and make this thing pop off. Speak your mind, get it off your chest on the King Kevin Show. Yeah, yeah. Call in now. Call in now. Yeah, I'm gonna go put this on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that stuff. And y'all do the same thing, man. Get people calling the show. There ain't too many real ones out here doing what I'm doing. You know, and I'm doing it because I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I'm blessed. I'm thankful for a whole lot of things, you know. And you know, God is good and God is great. And I just pray that, you know, everyone just stay encouraged. You know, I just got off a phone with a good friend of mine who's going through it as we speak. And I'm gonna tell him, like I'm telling you guys, don't ever give up. You know, that's what life is. It's gonna have some challenges. That's what life's about. It's about challenges and overcoming them, and not succumbing to them. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of our brothers and sisters are not really getting that message. So we need to go ahead and get everybody on the same page, the same accord. Now, how did UN players get caught up in the game like that, man? You go catch you a 17-year-old girl, get her drunk, and then go violate her. You know, two grown football players from the UN, and they supposedly admitted to the crime, which is very unfortunate because I truly hope that, you know, the female recovers from that whole ordeal. That has to be something extremely horrible, to face such a situation at such a young age. 17-year-old girl, you know, and they supposedly got her drunk. I mean, just to be real with you, I mean, I have in the past, you know, been involved with, you know, women, and you know, we drank. You know, we drank so that we can loosen up a little bit and enjoy the night. And I want to talk about that one day. Those drinks, you know, you ever thought about why they call the bars and the wine stores, liquor stores, spirits, wine and spirits? Anybody ever thought about that? Because they know once you get them drinks in you, you're gonna turn to somebody else. You're gonna turn into some sort of spirit. I hope you guys not hearing this echo that I'm hearing, because it's very annoying. So let me go ahead and make sure you guys are not hearing that, because I know if I'm hearing it, then you guys may be hearing it as well. So, but I like to hear the sound of my voice. But I'm not hearing it right now. Oh well. See, this is the situation that we have here. These two men literally throwing their careers out in the trash by getting involved in something like that. Why would you do something like that to anybody? She could have been somebody's mom, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter. So that's definitely something I want to talk about. That's on my mind. The fact that we have such individuals going out acting like that. And then you got this other football player from Cleveland, Josh Gordon, just caught a DUI. Young man, the second, third year in the NFL. He's a young man and ended up catching a DUI. And he's like one of the top receivers in the league. And on top, he was already suspended for half the season catching, having weed charges. Man, you smoking up your life away, and now you drinking it away. So I don't know this young man, but definitely pray for him. It's always good to give a prayer to people, and I used to do a prayer every day, every time I used to do the show, the King Kevin show. But it is what it is. But we definitely give a quick prayer right now. There's no time like the present. Like my mom used to say. God's great, God's good. Thanks for everything and all things. Bless us, Lord. Bless this show. I pray to have a great success and be a blessing to everyone. And may we all learn and share knowledge and wisdom and power. Empower us all, Lord. In Jesus' name, Lord, we pray. Amen. Amen. So that's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know what they're gonna do with this guy now. Now he's gonna get suspended. He might be facing jail time, and you $1 million man. That doesn't sit too well with me. You $1 million man, and you out there throwing out your money out like that? Come on, bro. But anyway, moving along. I haven't really kept contact with people I know in the NFL. I know 2 active players right now. I probably known 6 total in the football league. But I know 2 active right now. One of them is a mega star right now. Like, he really getting money. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Brandon Marshall. I hope you enjoy my book, my brother. Edgerrin James to play. So I know a couple of football athletes, and both of these guys have the infractions with the law. But doesn't mean you have to allow any mistake that you make to determine your future. And I want to also mention, last night I was at the Shark Tank, South Beach style, up there at Nikki Beach. So shout out to all the people who was there. The people who were able to come and support. I mean, I literally got there late. I got there right at 6 o'clock. No, not 6 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I was still at work at 6. Event started at 7:30. We didn't walk into the door till 9 o'clock, and people were already leaving, literally leaving the whole event. And I was like, oh my God. Damon is a black man who is on the Shark Tank, you know what I'm saying, on ABC. They show it on Tuesdays now. I think on CNBC now they moved the time. But people invest their money. So if you haven't seen the show, I'm going to explain to you right now. They invest their money into different enterprises or different entrepreneurs. They come, pitch their ideas, and then they take it a step further and invest if they like the idea or turn it down. Sometimes they team up. Like sharks team up on meat. They team up. And either take 40% or 50%, sometimes even 60%, or even sometimes 100% of the whole business if they really believe that it's going to be lucrative. So last night, I got to meet the man who actually won the competition, the local competition down here on South Beach. His name is don't remember his name, but I know his business is $1 Million Scholar. You can catch him on Twitter and Instagram, M Dollar Scholar. So check him out. Bright young man, young brother doing this thing, and he came up with an idea on how to save people money that want to go to college and avoid student loans. He's gonna make millions. That is $1 million idea. He was thinking which is conscious mind, $1 million. So I definitely appreciate and applaud a young man for coming up with such a great idea. He's going to make millions. So I'm assuming that this competition is going to travel around the country. Since I was so late, I believe that I'm going to make it my business to go out and travel to wherever it is. So if it's in Chicago, Atlanta, Texas, wherever, California, I'll go out there, to watch the competition, the next step of the whole thing. I was so excited, but I got a chance to meet a lot of great people. Got a chance to network a lot. I can mention some of the people. Well, I guess it's in my book bag, but I do know a couple of the names. My boy Monroe out there, Coral Springs. Met Mr. Hodge from out there, a young man that's investor. His name was Daryl X or something like that. Orlando Gunn. I met a couple young ladies there. Candace, don't remember her last name. I met another fashion designer. I met a young woman from Angola, Africa. She has a fashion line, and I definitely look forward to contacting her and staying connected with her and several other of the individuals. So it was a very productive night, nonetheless. So shout out to my man Yvonne, who I went out there with. We definitely enjoyed ourselves and enjoyed the evening. It was a blessing. Now, what's up with the weed being legalized up here in Washington State? Washington State actually legalized marijuana sales, which is pretty interesting because you have NFL players right now and NBA players suspended from the league for the use of weed, but then you have certain states that is legal in. But the fact that the NFL operates on a national level and each state has their own laws, it's going to be interesting on how they proceed with their laws on pot use. Um, State of Washington, who has become the second state, if I'm not mistaken, that legalized the herbs. And wow, Colorado being the first. And they said that Colorado crime has been reduced by, I'm not sure, but greatly reduced the crime over there. But in Washington, you have 2 grams of weed selling for $54. So they really taxing, what I'm saying, the marijuana. So I don't really know if it's gonna really be something that people have to really have. The price like that, I wouldn't want to smoke no weed. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to smoke and be in charge like that? You know what I mean? That's a whole lot of money. $54 for 2 grams? Yeesh. Boy, they waxing them. And then you have 24 stores out there who were legally given permission to sell the weed since Monday. So you have 24 retail stores and 79 growers in the state of Washington. Not Washington, D.C., but, Seattle, Washington up there in the northwest region of the country. So this has been some very interesting um, updates of what's going on in the nation. Even Jamaica has some different rules, but we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But yeah, even Jamaica getting caught up in this a little bit. Now, how about the organization that legalizes or controls or regulates marijuana, liquor, and all that stuff is called a Liquor Control Board. Now, they have, and they claim that they're overwhelmed, 7,000 pot applications. You know what I'm saying? 7,000 pot applications, and they are going really slow. So it's, pretty interesting on how the world is going to change. Like, is this going to lead to anarchy? Is this going to lead to where everybody's just doing their own thing? What else can get legalized? And why would they even legalize it is another question. It's not that I'm against, weed smokers and things like that. What I'm saying is, what are they leading to? You know what I'm saying? The government, you gotta be careful with the government. You never know what they're gonna pop on you. You never know what they're gonna sneak up on you. Martial law, you know what I'm saying? The U.S. Patriot Act is another thing. They snuck up on us. Even the Obamacare. yeah, everybody, needs insurance. That is very true. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping on that. But what I am tripping on is the fact that now, if you don't have it, then you won't be able to have this particular ID. They're saying this ID is an ID that everybody is going to have to have. So I'm wondering, is this, a sign of the world domination, world power, world control, new world order, all those different worlds? Is that's what's going on? Because I'm really curious to know what we're gonna do about this whole situation here. So you guys definitely should stay tuned and wow. So moving along, we're gonna get into Jamaica, and yes, you can definitely hit me up. Let me see who hit me up on. You hit me up on the social stream as well. If you tune in right now, go ahead tune in on the social stream. Drop your little comments on the side, and we'll get things rocking and rolling. But also, you have in Jamaica with their radical changes regarding marijuana. 2 ounces is 57 grams. Now remember, I said 2 grams of Washington was $54, but in the state, not state, country of Jamaica, it's called ganja marijuana. 2 ounces, you know, is 57 grams. So 1 ounce will be equivalent of what, 20, 25, 26, 27. 27 grams, so to speak, 25, 27 grams. So I definitely wonder what's going to um, happen there, because if you have the Jamaican Parliament who's going to make this major change in September. Now I'm not from Jamaica, but I've been to Jamaica. Excuse me one second. Hey Lord, my bad, boss. Can you get the door, please?
Huh?
I think somebody's at the door. Please, yes. Let him in, please.
Oh, I didn't do it.
No problem. Yes, yes, yes. We had to take a little break right there. But yeah, the anti-ganja laws in Jamaica. Surprised they even call it that. Oh, you are on the road. That's my friend Lord, and this is Slim right here. So yes, yes. So I mean, that's a pretty interesting situation. That the Jamaica's even gonna put in some major laws to stop the sale of weed. Now, many Jamaicans believe that the declaration of the marijuana for medical and scientific purposes could bring important economic benefits to the island's economy, which could be true. The economy there suffered from slow growth, high unemployment, and high debt. But the thing is, the government plans major victory for Jamaica's Rastafari movement. They consider ganja, weed, to be sacred. So now you're gonna legalize something that's sacred. What's going on, Benjamin?
What's up, boss?
What's going on, man? So, I mean, it's a tough situation. Yeah. So, that's what I want to say about the whole thing. But let's jump into the fact that we have a Black History celebrity. Now, I want to mention in the state of Washington, there are 502 licenses right now. 502 legal licenses to go ahead and smoke your weed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a license. I don't know how much they're charging for the licenses, but the fact that it's 502 people with it. You have 79 growers and 25 stores that are legal. They're legalized to sell this stuff to the population. Now in Florida, the state that I'm in, they know if they legalize weed, they're going to have to legalize a lot of other things, because there's a lot of weed smokers in Florida. As a matter of fact, back in 2000, like a year after I got out of college, I caught a marijuana charge. And that really, threw me for a loop. But that one little bag for $5 cost me nearly $800, probably even 1,000. Lawyer fees, legal fees, and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I I definitely understand that we all need to have a change. We all need to um, not necessarily seek drugs to solve our problems, but there are people that consider marijuana sacred. It's something that's been in their families and generations, for hundreds, possibly a couple hundred years. Um, but anyway, the government, in Jamaica, they're reforming the laws, but recent changes in the drug laws in countries like Uruguay and the United States, such as Colombia, Washington, as I just mentioned, have a sense of that it's inevitable that the future widespread of legalizing weed in Jamaica may lose out on economically if it does not change the laws by making it legal. So whatever that means, that's what the article says. But it is what it is. So, but let me get into what I was going to talk about with the Black History Celebrity. Now, up in California, 150 women in California state prison system, 150 women were injected with being sterilized, illegally. 148. 100, what I'm saying? 140 to be exact, were given these sterilizations without the permission, without the people really knowing what was going on. And that's, that's a bit unfortunate because if you don't know what you're getting into, you don't know that you're being sterilized. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have kids. And these doctors from 1997, 2010 will pay $147,000, really $148,000, which is unfortunate. And so I did a little research to find out how many women were black, how many women were Hispanic, white, and all that stuff. But they didn't give out information. They didn't want, I guess, they didn't want people to really know um, what was the demographics of these women. But it's definitely unfortunate that they were injected with this stuff. So but moving along in in overseeing medical care. In overseeing medical care, 33 of the state's prisons since 2006, according to the U.S. District Judge Henderson of the Northern District of California, ruled that the system's health care was so poor that it violated the constitutional ban on cruel and unusual punishment. Wow. 33. In the state of Florida, we have 44 prisons. As a matter of fact, this show being speaking your mind. They are already the prisons. They are already injecting a lot of the inmates, especially ones with sexual crimes like child molestation. They're injecting them with chips. They're putting chips in them so they can keep contact with them, keep tabs of what's going on in their lives, and all that good stuff, which is cool. I definitely agree with that. But does that violate our constitutional rights? Because they're going to do that to them. Then next they're going to move to violent offenders, people who've committed crimes such as robbery, home invasions. And then they're going to move down to people who've committed domestic violence, people who has, gotten into fights. And then you're going to have them, injecting these chips in people who have, committed crime, period. Maybe even people who smoke weed, who got caught, people who, caught DUIs. You know what I'm saying? The list could go on and on. So it always starts somewhere. And it's funny because this goes perfectly with the Obamacare. Because with the Obamacare, if you don't have, in the future, you don't have this Obamacare card, that means you're not a registered citizen. If you're not a registered citizen, that means you are an alien or immigrant. According to their words, these are not words of King Kevin himself, so please don't take offense. But then you can possibly be a terrorist, and then you fall into the terrorist laws. So you can see how the congressmen, the whole government, and the powers to be, they can manipulate the whole system to make sure that it falls in line with their agenda. Most politicians, they always have some sort of agenda that they're trying to pass along. are trying to get. That's just my opinion of the whole situation. Because I studied politics. I studied politics all my life. As a matter of fact, I studied politics. I majored in politics, as a matter of fact. So that, truth be told. So, but yeah, again, the callers, hit me up. Tell me what you're thinking. 305 600 5916. That's 305 600 5916. I got my Skype running. I know it's running. I just paid the bill. So, hit me up. So, if anybody was trying to hit me up that had a little issue, go ahead, hit it up. Or send me a message at Courage to Believe. We live. We popping. We major. So, let me play a little song right quick. Let me play a little background music. Let's do this. We major now. Okay. Got a caller calling in. Yes. Caller 754 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from? Can you repeat that again?
No, I was saying, how alcohol is more lethal. According to study, alcohol is more lethal than marijuana.
That's true.
So it could kill you faster than it could kill you quicker than marijuana can. So why not make it legal?
That's a good question. Why not make it legal, right? Because you get more damage done to you than alcohol, man. Because alcohol eat up your liver, mess up your brain cells. Well, they say we mess up your brain cells as well.
No, make it legal because they can't control the market for it. So this is my point.
They can't control it.
Yeah, to me that's unfair, and just treat marijuana users more harshly under the law than the users of alcohol, as a matter of fact.
Wow. And you know what? And that's so true too, man, because they can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Just like crack cocaine, I doubt they'll ever make crack cocaine legal, but they can't control it. They can't get the government not making money from it. So they're definitely going to pass laws so that they can make money from it. You know what I'm saying? Lock you up. The whole system. The lawyers make money. Prosecutors make money. The judges make money. The police officers, did I say police officers? They make money. Supreme Court gets money. You know what I'm saying? The whole nine.
50%, 50% majority of the country support legalizing marijuana. So why not? I thought majority ruled. That's not the case.
Yeah, majority do rule. I think honestly, within the next 5 years, there's going to be a lot more states that's going to be joining the whole marijuana movement and legalizing it. You know what I'm saying? But the tax that they put on people, man, it's ridiculous. They really tax. You know what I'm saying? They really taxing them, man. Like right now, like I said earlier, I don't know if you heard it, but for 2 grams of weed in Washington, it's $54. 2 grams, man. You know how much money that is? $54.
Oh, wow, that's still a lot.
Yeah, so imagine that. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, which I'm cool with. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's worse? Because they had this synthetic marijuana where they used to be legal. I heard now it's not. Where you could go to a corner store and buy synthetic marijuana, and when this drug was it was a substitute marijuana, and what they was doing is killing people. So the government finally took it off the shelf. Now it's no longer legal. So it was all with chemicals and stuff. But I just want to give my point of view of that.
Straight up. Man, you gave some great points, my brother, man. You sound like you're very knowledgeable on the whole marijuana movement. So, but it's all good, man. But yeah, thanks for calling in and tune in next week. Next week we're talking about African-centered education. Is that the solution to black-on-black crime, or is it good? Period. For the community and all that good stuff. So I'm very excited about the guest I'm gonna have in calling next week. He might even be here on the show with me. So just stay tuned for that. Same time.
All right, I will. Thank you.
Blessings.
Have a great
Thanks.
day.
For sure. Have a good one. Yeah, you heard the man. He was saying that we should legalize it. You know, hey, who knows? I mean, I just know they're gonna tax us like crazy if they do. You know what I'm saying? They need to make alcohol illegal. You know, the amount of accidents people having and people losing their careers, man. Man, DUI charge is very serious. You know, DUI charge is very serious. I remember I almost caught a DUI charge back in the day. I was hanging out with some friends. It's a true story. As a matter of fact, I talk about it in my book, The Courage to Believe. I know I'm always talking about my book and never have it on me, so a lot of y'all think I don't even have a book. But do me a favor, drop a comment, on the show. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so you know, I just got this new car. I make the story quick. I just got this new car. No, a new paint job on an old car. You know, 85 Cutlass. Call it the Cutlass. Sliding clean, riding good. You know, blue paint. You know, Haitian flag on the dashboard. Big flag on the dashboard. Cover the whole dashboard. Dark tints. You know, you can't see nothing but the flag in the shiny blue paint, looking like a Batmobile. Swagged out like that, like for real. And what ended up happening is, you know, I just got into town in Miami, got invited to a real jazzy Haitian party at a hotel. So me and my cousins, we down there, you know, we drinking up a storm. This happened like back in, I was still in college, so this had to be '03, '04. You know, back in my dread days, you know. And what ended up happening was, you know, we were drinking to celebrate one of my cousin's birthday at their house, and they was like, "Yeah, there's a party going on. I was invited. You know, nice females. You know, it's jazzy, and none of us dressed up for the occasion at all. You know, people was dressed up in suits and dresses. I mean, it was very top notch, upscale. But anyway, so you know, we drinking what we drinking, and I kid you not, while I was there, a we were so drunk. We came to the party drunk. You know, we stopped by a corner store to buy more liquor. We were so drunk. You know, and I couldn't even drive at all. You know, so that really scared me. You know, I never been so drunk in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't even dance with anybody there. So we just left like, man, let's leave. This is like, you know, crazy. You know, we can't be here, you know, like this, and we don't know what's going on. You know, Miami people be having guns, so even the girls be strapped up. So you got to be careful with that. And so what I ended up doing was one of my cousins drive. My cousin was like, you know, he's too drunk to drive. He can't drive. So I'm like, well, then somebody got to drive. What we gonna do? And so I didn't want to trust any of them with my car since, you know, everybody was drunk. You know, they wouldn't have made no sense at all. So what I did was like, I trust my drunk behind than anybody else drunk self. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna trust me. You know, before I trust the next man. So I got in the car, took off with everyone, and drove slow, dropped everyone home. My cousin had to go home. I didn't take him home. I just slept at you know, someone else's house because I look, I'm not driving way down south, Lake Haiti in Miami, drunk like this. I mean, we lucky we be able to drive everybody home. So I'm not gonna push it. And I could have easily lost my life. I could have killed everyone in the car by mistake. I could have killed someone else in their car, you know, God forbid. And I was just thankful to be able to make it home. That's a true story. I mean, I've never been to this day, you know, drunk nowhere near as much. I mean, it was a very intoxicating um, state of mind, you know. So I'm always, you know, blessed and thankful for, you know, life in itself, and that's what it's about. You know, I think when people when you drink, it's cool to drink a little something. You know, unwind a little bit, but don't get drunk. Don't drink to get drunk. Don't drink to get, you know what I'm saying, so messed up where you don't know where you are. You don't know. Somebody just called in. I can't pick up unless it's on the Skype. I don't know why my Skype don't pick up all the calls, but it goes to the computer. Because it's on the computer, I'm not going to be able to pick up. I'm telling them to call my Skype right quick. Because I know they called me. Okay, he's calling now. Okay, bomb. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You calling King Kevin show? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on? This is Gary checking in from Miami.
Miami, man. I was just in Miami yesterday. I was sharing that story, everybody, man, on South Beach, man. I got to the Damon John event, Shark Tank event, so late, man. I missed the whole thing, but I met some very beautiful people out there, man. Good vibrations, man.
Very definitely. So what's the show about tonight?
We talking about tonight. Just speaking your mind, whatever come to mind, something you want to get off your chest, something you may want to add, a testimony, how God been good to you, or how much the devil been working in your life. Some your success maybe. I don't know, whatever on your mind. Something you see on the news, World Cup, anything, man. I just wanted to freestyle tonight.
Oh, this is the freestyle session. Oh, that's great. Now I was just saying, for me, we probably just need to network more. Like I never really took advantage of a lot of the network events that were available to me, and it wasn't until like a few weeks ago I was invited to an event by one of my coworkers that I realized there's so many opportunities out here. So what do you think about that? Working in?
Man, I'm glad you mentioned that. Because I'm definitely a big go-getter, man. Everybody who know me or even think they know me, one thing, Kevin, about his business. And reason why I'm happy you mentioned that is because I want to give some game to some people out there, man. I'm not giving enough game. I'm not giving enough knowledge about life and about networking and business. So I'm going to really put that in my business, in my mind, to share that knowledge because it's very important. Now, with you being a young man, I'm assuming you're a Negro, right? A Negro. Now I'm playing, man. But seriously though, when you're out there networking, you go to these events, you're being invited to it, man, take advantage of it, especially if you have some time. Because one, you're supporting someone else's vision, which is a blessing in itself. You planting the seeds. And two, because you just never know who you're going to meet, man. You know who I've met by networking, man? I've met Grant Hill, gave him my book. I met Boris Kujo. You know what I'm saying? I've met school board members. I've met some track stars, some women track stars out there. I've met some very big CEO presidents of marketing companies, and a lot of these presidents, the CEOs are women. Doing major things. Hosting the Essence Festival, the Essence Awards, BT shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, they run the operation. So if you don't go out there and put out your business card, if you don't go out there and just get your name out there and let them know who you are, just be confident. Because I used to be nervous. Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. Not at all.
Not nervous? I used to be nervous, man. You know what I'm saying? But like, wow, these people don't know me from a can of paint. I'm just out here, because I used to be very hungry. Like, even before I even had a car, I used to catch the bus and go out there to networking events, man. I used to borrow my friends' cars to do it, because I was always hungry. So go out there with the intentions, and not just, and this is one tip I want to give a lot of people. A lot of people have a misunderstanding of what networking is. Don't do it with the intentions of just talking about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't care about other people, you don't care about the business, you just care about yours, that's cool. But listen to what they got to say as well. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing worse than having some, self-centered, egotistical individual promoting themselves and they ain't really trying to absorb what other person's saying because they might have something to give you, just like you got something to give them. So you never know. Well, what kind of business you into? Just wondering.
Into a couple things, but mainly it's web development right now.
Web development?
Yeah, which is web development. Apart from that, I never really like pushing my web development skills and services because I don't want to promote that part of it. With my networking, what I feel like I would be more motivated and inspired to network on is related to like creative services like consulting or just like film and other community outreach, those type of. I think my whole deal with networking is that I need to have a cause to do it. If you don't have a cause or something that you feel passionate about, then I really feel like, okay, you're not gonna utilize it to the best of its potential. So right now it's pretty much web development, but that's not something that I'm trying to broadcast. Because to be honest with you, I'm trying to move away from that. It's a means to an end right now.
That's real.
I'm trying to move. Yeah, I'm trying to move away from that. It's just something that I can do, but I'm adventurous so much more that I wanna get involved in. So that's why now I realize, how networking. It just takes that time for that light bulb to come on, and when it does, everything else makes sense. So
Everything beautiful.
just that time.
That's real. And you know what too? What I realized as well, it's a great opportunity to meet new people, develop friendships, like real friendships. Not none of that Facebook, Twitter, I'm your friend, I'm following you crap. I'm talking about real life friends, link up, you know what I'm saying, share ideas, do projects together. And you might even find a woman, man, you might even fall in love. A female might find a man she fall in love with.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? You just never know, bro. I done met some bad women at these events, man. I'm telling you. That's not the reason why I go, of course. But I've met some very interesting people. But let me go ahead and take this call in. Appreciate you calling in, my brother. All right. Blessing. Mic check. This is King Kevin Show. 954 air code. What's your name? Where you calling from? All right, give me your first and last name. That's what's up. How you doing? All right, so what? You had a comment or a question about tonight? You're gonna have to talk a little louder. Oh, I love. Oh, yes. Hey, guys, listen. I'm glad you called in to remind me. Let me say this right quick. Hang on the line. I made a video today called, actually I made it a couple of days ago. It's entitled Why I Love My Haters. And I've been getting such a large response and replies from people about it. And believe me, it took me a lot of time. So go check that on YouTube, Why I Love My Haters. And then you see it. Leave a comment, like, and share it. All right, go ahead. And what you felt about that video, by the way? Talk just, I don't know why I can't hear you. Are you like on an earpiece? Are you on an earpiece or something? Because it's kind of tough to hear you. I can hear you, but I want to make sure that the internet world can hear you. We can hear you better now. Go ahead. Seth, what you saying about the video? And that's real. You know. That's good. Did you recently get involved or had an issue with somebody who was hating on you?
I never had an issue about it, but let's say you gotta pray about it.
Yeah.
Talk about that, but you have to ask God for guidance and everything, and He's with you. They're the ones that are close to you. You just gotta be careful, because you never know what they can do to you.
Yeah, that's true. It's the friends you gotta say you gotta be more watchful about because they know more about you. They know your schedule, they know your likes and dislikes, even the ones you love. So you always gotta be careful. But the main point of that video was really for people who have experienced haters. To learn how to use that energy, that negative energy, to benefit them, to move them forward, like to transform that energy, So Maybe I should write a book about that, but I'm gonna get more in detail about that because I've been, as you know, I'm a very spiritual brother, but I've really gotten deeper into learning about energy, whether it's positive and negative, mainly the positive, and learning how to actually use it because everything is energy. You know, everything. You know, it's your smiles, your hugs. You know, whether you're praying. You know what I'm saying? What you're using, your vision, your touch, everything. You know, is energy. The way the wind, that's energy. The trees, that's energy. You know, making money, that's energy. Being broke is even energy. That's not the energy I want. I don't want none of y'all to have that neither. But everything's energy, and I don't think people really understand that. But thanks for calling in, my sister, and you be blessed and you keep your head up. All right, thank you. Bye bye. So yeah, as we were saying, ladies and gentlemen, check out that video. I've gotten about probably 70, 75 people that has actually watched that video, and it hasn't been out 24 hours yet. So that a track record like that, I could hit 1,000 in a week. I have yet to have a video hit 10,000. I do have one that's about 8,000 viewers. But I'm gonna keep making some powerful videos because I just got my MacBook back. I got it fixed. And so I want to do some powerful things. I want to brand myself. I want to brand my book, Seven Queens That Kings Desire. That's coming out February 7th, my birthday. It's going to come out sooner for those who pre-ordered it, but it's coming out February 7th. And also, I have my current book, The Courage to Believe, which is out like right now. So you can definitely, that's an inspirational true story of how I was able to overcome a lot of adversity through the grace of God, man. Like, God gives you grace when you need it. Me sitting right here is a miracle, and I don't take nothing for granted. Not a grain of rice, not a hug, not a drink of water, a jog outside, nothing. My family, friends, I don't take nothing for granted, man. Because you never know, somebody could just go away just like that. You could be gone just like that. And I want to do the show tonight so everybody get a chance to say something, speak their mind, things that may be bothering them, things may be blessing them. 3 people called in, which is pretty good. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to get ready to make the show a weekly, a daily show in the mornings, early mornings, maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, quick shout out, quick messages. I'm gonna do it. It's been in my spirit lately. And if you guys know anybody who does animations, I'm looking for an animator to do my cartoons as part of a project I'm working on. I have a couple of scenes. I need a graphic artist who does cartoons. So we are looking to invest money in doing that. As you know, I'm a positive brother, and I want you to be positive. Look, don't ever allow anybody to tell you can't accomplish your dreams and goals. You know what I'm saying? Anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish it. All you got to do is these 3 things, and I'm going to keep saying this every show. SBE. Speak it, believe it, execute the plan, because that's what it takes actually to move forward in life, man. Because you're going to always have haters. You're going to have adversity. You're going to have opposition. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have, some people going to have charges that are going to be carried with them for the rest of their lives, such as myself. But you know what? You still have the spirit of a champion, an overcomer. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes life more interesting. That's why you can have something to write about. Create platforms you can have a show about. So take the time, write down your life. We a lot of us have $1 million ideas that we just sit on. We have the $1 million thoughts and visions, and we just sit on it and laugh and talk about the next person making millions and billions of dollars, or having this or that, when you could be having yourself. You just got to apply yourself. So surround yourself with positive energy of those who have a good vision, because good vision is going to attract other good visions. You know what I'm saying? That's just the law of life. That's the law of nature. So don't forget, tune in next week. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about African-centered education. And for those who wanted more information, about the school that is being that's going to open up actually in August. You know, they're now accepting enrollments here in Fort Lauderdale, Beach, Florida. Call Dr. AK at 954-200-1373. That's 954-200-1373. Or you can check him out on his website. Well, the school's website, miskskedu.org. That's miskskedu.org. Or you can email him at aktosu.com. Again, this is my, I'm supporting this. I'm helping promoting and getting enrollments. They're right now enrolling K through first grade, but they're going to teach K through eighth grade. This is going to teach our men to be better men, to be men of valiant, men of honor, and intelligent as well. You know what I'm saying? To utilize that energy towards more constructive and productive things. And also the women. Teach women to be, you know what I'm saying, the queen that's in them. That's why I'm writing 7 queens. This school's going to teach them how to be a woman, a genuine woman, an authentic woman, to be a leader in their home and the community, how to cook and clean. Both the men and females going to learn how to cook and clean. They're going to learn to do a lot of things: science, history, of course, grammar with English, and they're going to learn how to speak Swahili. That's the language they're going to learn there: Swahili and English, not Spanish. Well, they may learn Spanish, but they're definitely going to focus the emphasis on Swahili. So I support them. And shout out again to my sponsors, DE Tires. Man, this has been an episode of King Kevin Show. And I really thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to tune out. But check out this little tune here. Shout out to Zoe Tarantino, who made this beat for me. So if you guys need a beat or soundtrack or some videos done, holla at my man Ephraim or Zoe Tarantino. Now his email address is zoetarrentino@gmail. That's zoetarrentino@gmail. Or my man Ephraim, who does videos as well. If you've seen my documentary trailer, you go to my YouTube. Check me out, the Courage to Believe documentary. Ephraim did a lot of that work, and also my man Mark. But Ephraim's email is efraym.master@gmail.com. efraym.master@gmail.com. So check out these brothers, man. They doing their thing. I support anybody doing something positive. And also support my girl, Sister Keisha, who's bringing down Dr. Kaba next month, the first weekend of August. Dr. Kaba's coming back down. I'm looking to do some work with him, as I mentioned. But Sister Keisha, that whole movement for change, that's her behind that. Her and Sister Gayla. I support them. And anybody who support anything positive, man, holla at me. All right? King Kevin Show. Y'all be blessed. I'm out of here. 1 2 1 2.
Use your charger. Come on.
Hold on. It's the white cord. The white cord, my brother.